Hey everybody, welcome. Pastor Nick, of course,
How are you?
Bishop David Evans. We're so glad that you guys can tune in with us. First of all, we want to welcome you, especially to our iFam who's watching this early. This is going to play on Sunday at 10 a.m. It is Friday at 11:30. You guys are watching early. Those of you who are watching this on Sunday, if you want early access like our iFam, please go to our Facebook page. Go to Facebook, put in the search, Bethany iFam. Again, put in the search, Bethany iFam. Join the group. You get exclusive content, conversations, a community, and you get these videos a couple days early. So, Bishop, we're glad for our iFam.
iFam's getting this now.
Getting this now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to air on Sunday, but they get it early.
Everybody else gets it Sunday.
Yes.
Got to join the iFam.
That's right. So join our iFam. Also in the comments, another reason why it's good to get it early, we're going to be answering live questions from our iFamily.
Sure.
Sister Maya is on the computer. Again, she'll be reminding you, post your questions, and we'll answer some during this time.
Now, what kind of questions are you anticipating?
Well, hopefully we're going to talk about women because it's Women's Day, Sunday.
Okay.
Dr. Rita Twiggs
Absolutely.
is bringing the message, and we know we love her.
Oh, yeah. You're going to enjoy it if you haven't heard her.
Yeah. So questions about women, questions about life, we'll be able to help you out with those questions as much as possible.
You know, we celebrate women on this. We always celebrate them, but their day is coming this Sunday. We want you to invite everyone that you know, men and women, boys and girls, to our Women's Day celebration. They're always very powerful, and I think Rita coming to us this year is going to be a powerful addition to our Women's Day series of messages over the years. Looking forward to hearing her again. Haven't heard her since Issachar.
Yes, but about 2 years.
Yeah. So she's ready to come. She's excited. I think there's a video that she sent. So we can't wait for you to hear Dr. Rita Twiggs on Women's Day. That's this coming Sunday.
Yep. It's going to be awesome. So Bishop.
Yeah.
Women. Mm-hmm. God creates the world. He creates the world for a group of people.
Okay.
He sets up the stage, the platform for these individuals to thrive in.
Okay.
And he says he created man, not man, male in that context, but mankind.
Right.
In his image and in his likeness.
Yeah.
So I think, and gives both of them dominion and authority.
Absolutely.
So I think if we can start off with breaking down some of the cultural, societal views of women, that God creating a man to be head, or God saying the woman is the weaker vessel, is not a detriment to a woman.
No.
When he made both an image and likeness and gave both authority in the earth.
Okay. I think there is an issue with acknowledging a difference that we know. Men approach problems differently than females do. Women have another way of approaching them. Men are supposed to be less emotional.
A lie.
Women are supposed to be more emotional. It's, somehow these cultural aberrations started to surface. And I think some of them came out of a lack of real identity. Right. When the Bible calls a woman the weaker vessel, it's talking about physically weaker, not spiritually, not emotionally, not societally, but both made in the image, but one is just a little less stronger. But I think if we look at how God creates everything, we see that he always creates teams that way.
Yeah.
You see lions, females are less strong, but run further,
Right.
do most of the hard hunting. The male is for defending. His strength has a purpose. His mane has a purpose.
Right.
Her strength has a purpose.
Yeah.
His mane has a purpose. Right. And when they fall into pattern and start to complement one another, everybody eats.
Right.
But it's no different than I think the sun and the moon in the sky.
Right.
Sun has dominion over the day, moon at night, and both of them are ruling the areas they've been assigned to, but both of them dwell in the same atmosphere, in the same content. Right. So it's, I think we have taken it and messed it up. And also, I think we may have misidentified the differences.
Right.
I think we call differences weaknesses.
Yes. Yes.
So men are considered not as emotional, but that's
Yeah.
really a bunch of junk.
Yeah.
They probably have learned how not to articulate how they feel.
Right.
But that does not mean they're not emotional, because most men make their greatest errors based on emotion.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know, ladies generally make their greatest error through their thinking.
Right.
The opposite has been taught forever.
Right.
But ladies are thinkers, incremental thinkers. That's why they can think, they can look at a baby in their arms, and the same son will go to jail for killing 8 people. And when they look at him, they still see the baby.
Yeah.
They have to think their way back to that.
Right.
Guys, I just gotta have it.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah. No rhyme or reason.
and make our major mistakes because of emotion. So I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
But what God has intended is that both have those qualities.
Right.
Both can be moved by emotion, both can be moved by intellect.
Right.
And together, we're supposed to compensate for what each other can't do.
Right.
But I think because we're so smart, we see opposites as obstacles
Yes.
and not as ways of fulfilling a whole.
Right.
Because why do I need to bring exactly the same thing
Yeah.
to the equation as you do?
Right.
We just have to learn how to measure and meld those two strengths.
Right.
So the relationship is strong.
Right.
But I don't buy, the Bible doesn't even teach that.
Yeah.
Superiority, inferiority.
Right.
The Bible doesn't teach
It doesn't
that.
teach that. It's what you call co-regents
Co-regents. Yep.
together.
Yep.
Working together to run this garden. He has a role, she has a role, and both working together.
But I don't think there's any relationship on earth that does not succeed in that formula. If you're business partners, you bring different strengths to the equation.
Right.
If you're friends, you bring different strengths to the equation. If you're partners, you bring different strengths. If you're spousal, you bring different strength.
Yeah.
So what happens is we see the opposites as obstacles.
Right.
Instead of learning how to manage and acquire both strengths for the relationship, we end up allowing our differences to become disconnectors.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That's good. And something we've talked about is the struggle, especially of this generation, as it relates to identity and being okay with that difference from an identification standpoint. You're seeing such a merging of, we can say, identities now. Where now, if I'm feminine, no. If I'm masculine, no.
It's
the whole identity structure.
Yeah, and I think that the thing that I'm seeing, you can't make a solid decision on a wavering foundation.
Right.
So and this may cause us a little difficulty today. When I'm seeing that parents may be making a mistake, a parent's job is to lay in a foundation from which the children make a decision.
Yes.
But if I give them no foundation, I'll find them going through several stages of trying to find themselves.
Yeah.
Which from the outside, you're saying that's good, they tried. But you're injured every time you find an identity that doesn't end up being yours.
Yes.
So if I want you to grow, I've got to give you a foundation so that you have a platform from which to launch your life. If you decide to do the opposite of what I've taught you, fine, but you do have a reference point. That's the point. You have a reference point that gives you strength in your decision making.
Yes.
If that makes sense. But a lot of parents are saying, I'm just letting them grow up on their own. I've seen several Hollywood couples that I have acquaintance with who've had that, don't tell them what to do, just raise themselves. And I'm watching their kids go through not knowing who they are and watching this and expecting everybody to accept their choice and everyone to agree with the choices that they're making. But people are getting so tired of the pattern of, okay, when I get with you here, you flip and you want me to get with you here, and you flip and you want me to get with you here. And after a while, people that love you have to back away from you and allow you to do your thing. So it's identity is important. If it wasn't, God wouldn't have said so.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That fluidity is insecure.
Absolutely.
Because you're moving from one day I'm this, next day I'm this,
Absolutely.
one day I'm this, and there's no, I can't fully invest in you when you change every other day.
It's impossible. But people want you to invest in them, even though they're changing every other day. And the culture asks an identity question about every 45 days.
Yes.
And a lot of people try to respond to each question. So if I'm doing that, that means I'm challenging my identity every 45 days, and I drag everyone who loves me with me as I go through this journey.
Right. Wow. So we jumping in kind of early, so this is good though.
Okay.
But I think you're right, because the identity piece, to me, here's what it is. I was talking to somebody about this. I said, I don't trust my 7-year-old with a $100 bill.
No.
Why would I trust him to decide who he's going to be at this age?
You can't.
He tells me he wants to be Spider-Man right now. So,
And it's going to change.
and it's going to change.
1,000 times.
Right. And why would if I don't trust him with money, why am I trusting him with a major decision like that? At 7 years old, 8 years old, we don't know anything.
No.
We got to give them a chance to, like you said, platform and evolve and learn who they are.
That's right. That's right. So some things you let your kids make their own decision, but identity things early in life, you give them a platform. If they decide to go left or right, then your children should never be able to say, my mother, my father didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Now, if they chose to ignore it, good. Right. But should never be able to say, your voice ought to always be in your kids' heads as to what you said.
Right.
So when something turns out, they can come back and refer back, my father tried to tell me.
Yeah.
My mother tried to tell me. My grandmom tried to tell me.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. That's good. So God creates this woman, gives her his image, his likeness, her authority. He puts the blessing on her, because the Bible says he blessed them. Be fruitful, multiply.
Absolutely.
So women have that ability to be fruitful, multiply. And we have a policy around here you established a long time ago. We don't care if you're wearing heels, wingtips.
I don't care.
Are you called, and can you get the job done?
Can you run the ball? Can you take a hit? And can you score?
Yeah.
I don't care whether they're the wingtips or pumps. It don't matter to me. We don't raise up female ministers or male ministers. We just raise up ministers.
Right. And you caught some flack early for
Oh my God.
for raising up, especially ordaining.
Oh yeah.
One of the first females
in this region.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught a lot of heat, death threats, the whole 9 yards. Said I wasn't saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but something I'm going to bring up tomorrow, that I'm doing this study on the thing we're going to do at the leadership seminar.
Okay.
And that's, by the way, we're going to do this leadership seminar tomorrow. It's the first time that the world has been invited.
Yeah.
It's normally a closed-in thing.
Yeah.
Maybe 400 people attend from our fellowship of churches, and because of the pandemic, we're opening it up to everybody. We want you to get on board tomorrow. At what time?
10:30.
So I'm studying Issachar. Never knew that they were the only tribe that got with Deborah.
Okay.
Went to battle with her. They made the decision, tough decision,
Right.
very unpopular decision in a tough time. They took flack for it,
Okay.
but they chose her, and then they followed her into battle. Sometimes you have to do what's not popular
Right.
for the benefit of other people.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny how we're so much on the same page. with
Good.
our lessons tomorrow.
Good.
So,
Good.
Somewhat to a certain degree.
Good.
But just,
Good.
So he gives a woman authority. He creates her to be a helpmeet. Now here's the cool thing that I love about how God did that. He puts Adam to sleep, cuts him, takes a rib out, builds this woman up.
Yeah.
Before he gives her to Adam, Adam to her, he builds her first. Adam does not build the rib. God builds her. God works on him and then presents them together. I think the dynamic of looking for another person to build me is going to lead you to disappointment,
Absolutely.
hardships,
Absolutely.
because basically God completed them before he brought them together.
And I think the problem is now, because so many of us are incomplete, we look for compatibility in other incomplete people.
Right.
The definitive thing is that when someone is coming to be a friend or whatever relationship is going to be, they're not coming to you to be completed. I wasn't complete till I met my best friend. I wasn't complete till I met my loved one. I wasn't complete.
Right.
It's supposed to be two complete individuals, two whole individuals coming together. Yeah. And also, there is a level of agreement. In content, you got to agree on spiritual things. You got to agree on how to handle your money. You have to agree on, some things, politics,
Yeah.
all that stuff, you don't have to agree on
Right.
if you allow your differences to become strengths
Yes.
instead of weaknesses.
Right. Right. So he creates her, brings her to him.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't chase him. He doesn't chase her. God is the one that brings the two together.
They meet.
They meet, yes. And then Adam identifies her. That's the cool. God did not, Adam did not create her, but Adam was the one that identified her and said, bone of my bone,
Yeah.
flesh of my flesh.
And there was an immediate recognition.
Yes, sir.
But it was something that God had prepared. Is it possible that our immediate recognition today is based upon impatience and
Oh,
not,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
and desire,
Oh,
not about whether the person is the person that God sent us?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
The fruit of impatience, the fruit of emotionalism, the fruit
Mm-hmm.
of loneliness. It's like we want to make the decision and then pray for God to bless it.
Well, I think you're talking about that whole agape, eros, and phileo thing being flipped upside down.
Right.
We've talked about it before. God says his love, a love of like, but even a greater definition that I found, love you above all others, and then eros.
Okay.
God wants us to start with agape love, and then the person that we say we love and the person that loves us proves that they pick you above all others.
Right.
Because that's real important to your security. And then out of that love relationship of God, special nature of the relationship, comes this passion.
Right.
But today, we flipped the whole thing upside down.
Yeah.
We put passion first. People are bedding folk down before they even know them. I can't ask you your age, but you'll get in bed with me naked. It doesn't make any sense.
No sense at all.
It makes no sense at all. But I want to put the arrows first, and then see if we can be friends.
Right.
After a level of sexuality has been completed.
Yeah.
And then if we find out we can be friends, then we want to see if we can add God to it to legitimize the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking.
And wonder why.
Yeah.
Wonder why you have selfish people, why you're in a relationship that's based only on what you can get out of it,
Yes.
only what you have in common, and not about the love of God.
Right. Right. So, and that's challenged in the garden, because when we get to Genesis 3, Satan comes to the serpent comes to Eve and starts talking to her about this thing. God's holding you back. He doesn't want you to eat it because he doesn't want you to have certain things. She eats the fruit, and the Bible says she was deceived, but Adam wasn't.
Yeah.
She was hustled, according to Romans, but Adam knew what he was doing when he ate the fruit.
Yeah.
And some negative patriarchal systems will teach that the woman was totally at fault.
No.
If I know what I'm doing and I
No.
choose to make that decision,
There was some stuff going on.
yeah,
First off, I think the whole garden was God asking a question: who's first in your life?
yeah,
God found out that for Eve, the tree was first,
right,
and for Adam, Eve was first.
yeah,
In that transaction. Then in the transaction, they start to express themselves in ways that further prove that they failed the test.
yeah,
Who's first? Well, when it comes to blame God, I'm choosing you. But when it comes to love God, I'm choosing the person.
bye.
And I've never come from this angle before.
I know.
God just dropped it on me. So a lot of times, God wants to know who is your God situationally,
Wow,
because they chose him every day, but when it came down to choices, Eve chose the fruit, Adam chose Eve.
right,
So God has to come down and ask them what happened. And then they turn on one another.
yeah,
But they both deny the Lord again.
yep,
So it's when the God factor in a relationship is key.
right,
And I'm not sure, even in friendships, I'm not sure if we're searching for God before we get committed, or does it happen after we get committed?
yeah. A lot of people for our counseling appointments after.
Yes.
commitment.
Yeah.
Try to get them saved after.
Yeah,
Try to
yeah,
get them,
yeah.
after, and wonder why they can't change.
They don't have the power to change.
And you can't change yourself, so how can you change somebody else?
And I think we talked about it last night during the mental health conversation. We have not been designed to see ourselves without assistance.
Right. Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We can see everyone else without assistance. But when it comes to seeing us, we need something to help us.
Yeah.
Something as fundamental as a mirror, but something as major as God to see ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're not good at that.
Not at all. Not at all. And we see that run through all Scripture. Sarah and Abraham, Rebecca and Jacob. All that mirror reflection from each other. From that relationship standpoint, works. And the cool thing about God is that he shows all throughout Scripture strong women, strong women, strong women.
Oh, yeah.
Strong women.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, Deborah.
Even the evil ones are strong.
Yeah, Jezebel was crazy, but she was strong.
But she was strong, man.
Anytime she can send a word, say, I'm going to come kill you, and the prophet of God, who, watched this, was up on Mount Carmel, called down fire from heaven to lick up all the water, called down fire from heaven to kill all the prophets of Baal. He comes down from that great victory, and a letter that comes from Jezebel says, I'm going to kill you. Bruh man gets scared and runs for his life.
When he got the threat, he chose Jezebel and not God.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Because he believed
He
what
believed.
she had to say.
Fear is faith in the wrong thing.
Right.
He had faith she'd do it.
Yeah.
Got out in the wilderness and asked God to kill him.
Right. Right. Something you said, this brings up a memory, something you said years ago, I think it was during Dare to Be a Man. Men want a woman that has influence, positive influence. Absolutely. You know, we don't mind if you know what you're doing, help giving us wisdom.
Tell me something.
Hook me up.
Tell me something.
You know, I want to hear your thoughts.
But I think some of the problem that I get in counseling sessions is that the woman at times appears to be trying to influence the man to be more like her.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not influencing, and every woman has this influence and doesn't really use it.
Okay.
Has the influence to promote and mature, or help mature, help motivate the person that she says she loves.
Yeah.
They automatically have that influence.
Okay.
But you cannot, if being alike was what you wanted, you wouldn't have been attracted to that person.
Yeah.
So we have the situation where we try to make, men try to make women men,
right.
Women try to make men women,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work. We can influence each other to become better at who we are.
Right. Right.
A better woman, a better man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not, I need to change you into me.
Right. Exactly. Because that influence is there. It's like most men, if you listen well enough, when a woman says babe, depending on how she says it, gives you the interpretation of either she wants something, she made a mistake, she needs some help. You know, it's just, babe. If you listen to the tone, you're like,
What key is that?
what key is that in? And the key tells you something's there, and you automatically know.
Oh,
Boy, I either got
goodness.
to pay for something, I got to go do something, I got to go somewhere.
Or guys start trying to do good things.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, all of a sudden, you're doing something you haven't done
That's
in
true, yep.
1,000 years.
Yep.
Just, you know, I
Yeah.
bought these flowers for you today.
Yeah.
Flowers?
Flowers, right.
You ain't gave me flowers since the prom.
Right. You did the dishes today?
What?
You, bro?
Come on, man.
But-
okay, what's wrong? And that's
Right,
the next-
yeah,
what's
yeah,
wrong?
yeah.
What did you do?
Yep.
What's wrong?
Yeah, you want something. But that goes back to men and women misusing their influence.
Absolutely.
Rather than, like you said, the flowers or doing the dishes or cooking or whatever, just because for the person.
That's right.
There's always a motive of I want something from you, and I got to do something to get it.
But you know the downside of that is that people now don't know how to be cared for.
Yes.
Some men and women actually see care as control.
Right.
When did our hearts get so twisted
Yeah.
that when someone is actually showing you care and actually showing you how to care?
Right.
Because I think a lot of times people don't care, they don't know how,
Yeah.
and the other person doesn't want to tell them.
Right.
This is what makes me feel cared for.
Yeah.
This doesn't make me feel cared for. I'm caring for you, and all of a sudden, people will accuse you of trying to control them because you're caring for them.
Right.
Because we don't know how to be cared for. We don't know how to respond
Yeah.
to real care.
Right.
Because I think in a lot of relationships, I don't know in your counsel session, but in mine, love, care, friends, like, are all words without any follow through.
Right.
So it's enough for me to say I care for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though my behavior is saying I don't.
I don't. Yeah.
And I think it's sabotaging people's ability to be relational because it's boiling down to that me thing you talk about.
Okay.
You know, and we're actually doing it with God. Well, I didn't come to church for 4 weeks. I needed some me time.
Yeah.
How do you get me time without God?
Right. Right. That's true. That's true. So we didn't open up a can of worms.
I know.
No, it's good.
I know.
But I think some people have been so jaded by relationships and life, even some by our own choice.
Yeah.
That when somebody comes to love us, we don't know how to be loved.
Oh, no.
So we push it away.
Can't recognize
You
it.
can't recognize it. Yeah. And I had somebody admit this to me, and I was so proud of her. She said it's easier. I asked her the question, why is it hard for you to connect with somebody that's good for you, but it's so easy for you to connect to somebody that's bad for you?
Right.
Her response was, there's less disappointment if the person that's bad for me hurts me than it is for if the good person hurts me.
Yeah.
So it's safer to be over here because I expect them to be who they are. But if this good person hurts me, then I can't trust nobody. That's a hard way of living.
But they are expecting the bad person to hurt them.
Yes.
I call that relational suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only drink poison
Yeah.
because the poison will do exactly what I expect them to do.
Yes. Yes. And it's crazy now. I know you've experienced this in counseling. The person gave the bad one a million chances. One good person mess up, done. Well, I'm like, explain that process to me. Because good people will disappoint you sometimes. It's a part of relationships.
They make mistakes,
They
too.
make mistakes. Everybody makes them.
But they don't make the same kind of mistakes
Right.
bad people do.
Yes.
The other thing that's really significant in that transaction is that a bad person does not require much from you.
That's true.
You just have to be present.
Right.
If you know they're a liar, you know they're unfaithful, all you have to do is be present. But
Right.
with somebody who's doing something,
Yeah.
it requires, watch this, it reveals immaturity. And all of a sudden the requirement is you grow up very quickly.
Right.
But most people will not take the challenge.
Right.
They will try to get you to accept the fact
Right.
that they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And because that's their norm.
Yeah.
And they want that to become your norm.
Right.
Knowing full well that eventually it can't be.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah,
Good thought.
it's absolutely, I've seen it time after
Okay.
time after time. I want someone mature,
Yeah.
steady, calm, all that. I'm acting crazy.
Yeah.
I need you to accept the fact that I'm this way, but I need you to stay the way you are.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Relationships are reciprocal.
Right. You let me be nuts, but you got to be.
Yeah,
strong.
no, that's not going to
No,
work.
that ain't gonna work long term.
That's not work.
Because then, to me, that's childish.
It is.
And then you get mad when the person starts treating you like a child, when that's the only way you respond to the relationship.
No one in their right mind responds favorably to a tantrum.
Right.
Tantrums don't elicit positive responses.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we want whatever adults are in our lives, or whatever level of relationship, we want them to continually excuse our behavior.
Yeah.
But I need you to stay consistent.
Right.
And I've been saying this for like the last month or so. You want love that accepts you, but you don't love enough to change.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My.
Yeah.
Hope y'all enjoy this today. This is deep. And that's all that God is showing all through Scripture. I love you enough to change you. Love
To
you
change
enough to
you.
transfer you. Yeah, I love you too much to keep you that way. And challenges are there. So I had a dream last night, right?
Okay.
It was a crazy dream.
Okay.
I was like, this can't be from God. Because you have them crazy dreams where it's like you in and out.
It's a hot sauce
in and
dream.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
But
too much pizza yesterday.
Yeah, too much pizza.
Yeah.
But can God invade those dreams sometimes and give you a message? So there was a part, right before I woke up, me and you were having a conversation about something. And you
Okay.
got on me for something.
Okay.
And the thought popped in my head was, while I was asleep, chastisement is there to change your thought process.
Yes.
Because to get a miracle, your thoughts have to change.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and I woke up.
Absolutely.
And I think, I thought about it. I woke up, I'm laying in bed, and I'm going through Jesus' miracles in scriptures, and how many times he had to challenge the thought process of the person before he brought the miracle.
Every time.
Yep. And the challenge was not to hurt the person. The challenge was to get the person over the hump of their thinking to produce faith so the miracle could happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because without a thought change, you can't even position yourself to receive a miracle.
Right.
That was good.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. I had to write it down real quick
I know that's right.
because I almost forgot it.
I promise you it's going to be good somewhere else.
Go and use it. You was in the dream.
As Paul Dean says, I promise
promise
you
you.
it's going to
Look.
be good.
It was as clear as day, and you was talking to me like you normally would, and I was like, okay, cool.
Okay.
And but that thing clicked, but it made me think about what areas of change in me.
But isn't that the whole salvation process?
Yeah.
The transformation of your mind
Right.
leads to the greater things of God. I heard something the other day that blew my mind. What God has for me is greater than what's behind me. And it came from to die is gain,
Okay.
to live is Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
That whatever's behind me,
Right.
once I get Christ in my life,
Yeah.
that life is going to be greater than anything I ever experienced before.
Yes, sir.
Man,
Yes, sir.
that'll deliver you. And it's why I think saved folk need to cherish the fact that God brings other saved individuals, I mean really saved now,
Yeah.
into your life for a purpose. But I think a lot of times because our relational habits are so strong, we want someone with a title and a look and not with the nature.
Being content just to have somebody.
Yeah, man.
And then mad when you got what you wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
We got 9 minutes. You got any questions over there, Maya?
I do.
Okay.
How do women use their influence without being called bossy?
I think that many times it is the way you approach the conversation. And most women know how they want to be approached, affirming that their feelings are valid, even though they may not be wise, affirming that the point of view is important, even though there might be a mistake being made. I think when ladies are talking to guys, a woman often, I don't know what it is about adults, but you say it all the time. When we act childish, we don't want you to treat us as though we're acting childish.
Yep.
And I say, act like an adult so I can talk to you like an adult.
Yeah.
I believe it is the way we approach one another.
Okay.
And the question is related from women to men. I think that if you have the same type of sensitive conversation that you want had with you, you won't be called bossy.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, because you can still talk to him while respecting him as a man. Like you want him to respect you as a woman.
Absolutely. And women are really strong about how you're talking to them.
Yes.
You know, and I get that.
Yeah.
But there, after you have asked the appropriate questions and added the wisdom, a lot of times we'll just say, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I took a risk telling you because I kind of wasn't sure whether it was all good or not.
Right. Right.
And I think a lot of times our responses are fed by our experience,
Okay.
rather than the problem that's being presented to us.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good. You got something else?
How do we raise young girls to understand and grow into their influence using their minds and not their bodies?
Yeah. I think that, especially nowadays, back in the day it was a little easier. Now it's much harder because children are seeing women use their body as an influence a lot.
For almost everything.
In everything, everything. The biggest stars now, it's really about their body, not about their music.
Kardashians are not talented.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
They just great at marketing themselves.
Nice girl, I met her.
Yeah.
Nice girl. You know, at Tyler Perry's house.
Yeah.
You know, she was
Going
a very
stunt.
attentive
Yeah.
person. You know, that all that was good.
Yeah.
But their currency now is appearance.
Yep.
And appearance and sexuality.
Right.
It's almost as though we've become so superficial
Yep.
that we think our appearance is our currency,
Right. Right.
or the dominant currency in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yep.
So we don't pay any attention to developing us as people.
Yeah.
I'm steadily working on
Yeah.
my appearance, so I perfect my appearance and don't perfect my character.
Yes. Yes.
My dominant negative emotions are still reigning,
Yeah.
even though I look good.
Yeah.
I'm still insecure. I'm still rejection sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm still selfish. I'm still self-centered. All I've got, and when you know what's really weird? The culture has kind of implied that the currency is your appearance.
Yeah.
How can currency be your appearance? Maybe it's the reason for all this plastic surgery.
Yeah.
How can currency be your appearance when your appearance is changing daily?
Daily. Right. Yep. Everybody wants to be the quick Instagram model, the quick this for the money, for the attention, and it's sad. I mean, even watching TV now. Before, being a virgin on TV was considered a good thing. Getting pregnant before you were married considered, whoa. Now it's like, well, it's a normal thing for teenagers now on TV.
Yeah.
So you grow up; these kids are growing up seeing all that.
And believing it. And
Yeah.
some parents are not at least saying this
Right.
is not the right way
Right.
to do this.
Yes.
Because people do what they want to do, but they have to hear your voice.
Yes.
That's not the way we do this.
Yes.
So, but I think you have to raise young ladies now with a sense of value.
Yep.
And with enough support that at least they have a fighting chance
Yeah.
of not allowing their appearance to become their currency and not their intelligence and their talents and their family connection
Yeah.
to become their currency.
Absolutely.
But that's the only way to do it.
I agree with
a
you.
relationship with God, a sincere one, and the value God places on you, so you place it on yourself, will put you in a battle.
Absolutely.
So at least you'll fight it, not just roll over
Yeah.
and succumb to what the culture is saying every other day.
Right. Yeah. And you're right. You have, as a parent, you have to attack it in a conversational tone, not preachy. You need Jesus, trying to lay hands on them every 5 minutes.
Big mistake
even
of
though you
Christian
want to.
parents. Big
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
There's a demon lurking around you. That ain't
demon.
time to tell your teenager that.
Right. Right. And then sometimes, my kids are young still, but I look at it like, how was I when I was 7 and 3 years old? And it kind of gives me some perspective of this is how 7-year-olds act.
You know nothing.
Right.
All you know is what you feel.
Yes.
And if you don't mature,
Yeah.
you get to be an 18, a 25, 30, 35-year-old who knows very little,
Yep.
only how they feel.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And a lot of parents need to remember you were 16 at one time too. Again, not excusing behavior. I'm just saying from a place of understanding.
Well, I think you should understand the mindset.
Yeah.
And that's what you converse with.
Yes.
Now, rebellion doesn't respond to conversation,
Not at all.
but rebellion does respond to hard times.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hard times gonna come.
Hard times, yeah. It speaks the language of rebellion.
Yes, it does.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You got another question?
Pauline wants to know, how do you not let past disappointments in relationships affect how you view new relationships?
Well,
Sorry.
I think the problem with past relationship failure is that we don't matriculate through them, and I use that word from an education point of view. You must learn the lessons not about other people primarily,
Yeah.
but about your method of choosing, which got you into a previous relationship. Because here's the reality. A present relationship, the only experience you have is the failed ones before it.
Yeah.
And many people try to duplicate the experience that they have and change one little thing.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that a failed relationship ought to have you looking at why did you choose, what did you choose, what about you became vulnerable, why did this become acceptable to you? Because if you look at it, Your experience will show you I've had a failure at this because of this reason, failure at this because of this reason, failure at this because of this reason. You got to make sure that you're not asking the new person to accept the habits that you've built out of your failures.
Right. Right.
Man, we need to have one of these seminars.
We
man.
do. We do. We do.
Because if all I know is failing, and people say, well, I didn't fail. Yes, you did. If you had not failed, you'd be in the first relationship.
Yes. Right.
So the relationship failed. Regardless of who caused it,
Yep.
it
It
failed.
failed, yeah.
What did you learn from the relationship?
Yes.
That failed.
Right.
And I'm not bringing that negative into.
Right.
But we tend to bring, what's really weird, Pastor Nick, is we will treat the existing relationship trying to compensate for the failures.
Right.
And then wonder why the good person says, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. And they had nothing to do with your failed
Nothing.
previous
Nothing.
relationship.
But you're treating them as though they were involved.
Right. Oh my. And on a closing note, I remember years ago when you did the thing on Saul. You said Saul couldn't get back at God because God rejected him. So he took all of his wrath out on David.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what we do. We can't get back at the person that hurt us. That was a rejection series.
Yep.
Call the bookstore, the rejection series. That was good. That was
Yeah, man.
That was a
while
couple years
ago.
ago. And the premise was Saul could not get over God's rejection of him, so he took his rejection out on David that
Wow.
did nothing to him.
That's right.
And I think that's what we do in relationships.
We do that in relationships.
Absolutely. I can't get the previous one, so everybody else in the present.
And here's the thing. We bring that sensitivity from parental relationships, sibling relationships, friendships, love relationships, all to a present relationship. And try to get the new person to compensate for all those failures of all those people that they had nothing to do with.
Right.
And you don't love me unless you're willing to let me shoot at you based on what my experience was. Well, no, we can talk through this thing. We can get this deliverance. But no, I'm not going to be the target because you didn't have the courage to stand up to where you came from. I'm just trying to help you.
We need to, we'll do a live on relationships.
Okay.
We'll do one.
Okay.
We'll plan it for this month, y'all.
Okay.
Because we out of time.
Yeah, we out of time? Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, we hope
21 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hope you guys enjoy. Remember, we got service at 11, service at noon, communion at 6.
You're talking about Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
Oh, you left out 8 and 9.
Well, they're watching this at 10 o'clock on Sunday. Well, for the people that are watching this live on Friday, don't forget 8, 9. For those of you watching on Sunday, 11 and 12. You know, my mind went there. Then 6 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. But those watching us live right now.
We got 4 Women's Day services, right?
Yeah, those watching us live now, 8, 9, discussion at 10, which you just did, which you've been watching, 11, 12, 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Yep.
If you're watching this on Sunday, you've hopefully watched 8 and 9. We got 11, 12, and 6. All right? Bye.
See you later.